stretch. We'll just warm up. Good morning. When you come in, I'm going to have us do a little rotation and start waking up the back and the breath. Breathe in and exhale, rotate. And we're going to touch base with these spinal moves. Take your arms up like a T and think of it as a gentle warm up. So you're not aggressively stretching, you're warming up. Now when you're here, you're breathing in, and if you can, breathe in your nose. Now inhale, open the arms, and then, hi Michelle, we're waking up with some movements for the spine. We did a rotation on both sides, and then we're also going to do lateral flexion. Now your hands can be wherever you need, and it's not an aggressive stretch. It's a way to get some movement, some blood flow, also to wake up those respiratory muscles. And inhale. So you notice I'm kind of playing around with it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going over. It felt too good. I couldn't leave early, so let's go to the other side. Now you'll see that side needs the attention. Breathe in. You're doing great. This is these are stretches you can do anytime, and we're using them to warm up. And you're finding out, what do I need today? And then we're going to take a forward fold, which is, we'll do feet together. We're just going to take a little movement in our hips. So this is a little easy way to stretch, passive, blood flow, and then you can let the hips stop flapping and go forward. And then inhale, come up, and we're going to take the arms to the rear. I'm stretching out my legs. I'm stretching out my toes. I'm trying to spread out my toes and lifting the heart. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we're going to come into a spinal flexion, cat-cow. So I'm going to place the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. If you have a sensitivity with your wrists right now, one trick is you can fold your fingers under and be on your knuckles. Another trick is that you can put your hand weight under each hand and hold it. That way you have a little room for your fingers. So there's always tricks if you're dealing with something, but we're going to take flexion extension. And notice how good that feels. Give your spine more attention where it needs it. And then we're going to take a hip circle, so about 5 each way, 5 hip circles. This should get those little back muscles that don't get much attention during the day. And then 5 the other way. And then when you're in neutral again, like a table, lift up your right toes. Now keep your right toes up as you look over your shoulder to look at the toes. This is called wag the tail. The same right toes are up as you look over the left shoulder. And then the same right toes are up as you look over the left shoulder. Let your toes look at you. This is a low back QL stretch. This is called wag the tail. So it's like you're a cat looking at her tail. And then you're going to let the right foot down and lift up the left toes. Now your left toes are your tail, and you're going to look over your shoulder, and you're going to look over each. So the left shoulder, you're still on your left foot. You look over your right shoulder, you're still with your left foot. Inhale, exhale, and you can get that QL muscle, that low back. Now we're going to take a flexion, which is just a child's pose. So your back should feel a lot warmer now, a lot looser. And then you can come back up to hands and knees and go back to cat-cow. And if you feel like you're ready and you're warmed up, you can lift your knees. I've got my knees above the floor now, and this is the hover or the beast. I'm still doing this cat-cow. So you can decide, do you want to stay knees down or knees up? Knees up is a little stronger posture. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then those of you that want to add on even more, feet back, there's a down dog. Lift your heels, low back, middle back, upper back. Breathe in and then tuck. Good, so you could be doing cat-cow. You could be doing knees off, cat-cow, hover, or you could be doing the down dog, up dog. Inhale, good. Whatever you're doing, be there fully. Wherever you are, be there fully. Breathe in. And then hold. 5. We'll either do a child's pose or a down dog, your choice. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll just take a child's pose together. Bend the elbows so the triceps get some gentle attention, stretch, and then come back up. Grab a sip. You're doing great. We're going to go to our belly and do some posture work. Belly down. And the thighs are going to be long behind. There's a little bit of an abdominal pull in here. Now hover your hands above the floor and lift your torso. Now when you do this, you're going to feel like you go up and down like you're on a lake. And there's a little lift. Now if you feel like you can add on, lift your toes. Good. 4, 5. Good. Building back strength. 6. And recover. Okay, wonderful. Now we're going to go up a little higher. So when you're ready, lift your torso without your hands. And then if you can add on, press your hands into the floor. Push your way up. And hold. 10. You guys look great. Look at these postures. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, exhale, lower. Now we're doing that again. So at first, lift up without your hands, just your ribs come up, just your chest. How high can you go? And then let your hands assist you higher. And hold that. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And exhale, lower. Okay, get ready. We're going to do this one more time. Inhale, lift, no hands, and then press. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exhale. Okay, fabulous job. Now I'm going to have for a windshield wipe, but if you would like a child pose, please take it. You can listen to your body. I like it. Okay, now we're going to do a little breaststroke here. This idea is to lift the spine and move the scapula. So pretend you're swimming and you've got this big circle with your arms. You're going to, oops, I got to move my mic. You guys keep going. Okay, you're going to go up. Inhale with the arms circling. You want to feel your scapula move. They should not be rigid and fixed. There should be mobility there. Breathe in. The neck should feel free of congestion though. Good, that looks good. Jean, up. And you can, because you're not swimming, you're not going to drown. You know, you can take your arms all the way down to your thighs. Draw a line up. Good. Inhale. And relax your head. You can even windshield wipe. Relax your neck. If you need a child's pose, take it. You're doing so good. Now we're going to take the hands low. So the hands are going to be low near the hips. You can lift up and then the thighs lift up. Stay up like you're on a raft. And the raft is under your belly or hips area. And then relax, and if you want to add on, you can put your hands at your lumbar spine. So we're adding an interlaced finger position if your shoulders are able to stay open. If that forces your shoulders forward, just leave the hands beside your side. Here we go. Breathe in and lift up the toes, lift up the knees, lift up the torso and the arms. 5, 4, and then let's take a child pose or whatever, maybe a puppy dog pose, whatever pose you need. I'm going to curl the toes under for the feet too. Breathe in. Good. I love that elbow bend. Nice. And then grab a sip. You're doing so good. We're going to do a little bit of bridging. So I like to make sure that at least the length of my spine is available on the mat. So when you roll down, you just can concentrate on your roll down, making sure nothing's behind you. And once you're down, your feet are going to lift and spread, and you can curl up and curl down. Now, we did wake up our back earlier on the cat-cows. So this is another spinal articulation with hamstring glutes. You also are training your knees to be over the ankles. Breathe in and out, and breathe in and out, and breathe in and out. And then hold your hips where they're in the high position, and we're going to take 10 little pulses. The pulses are probably about 2 inches. Try to feel both glutes evenly, both hamstrings evenly. And now let the knees drift towards each other and take 10 little pulses with this internal rotation. And then let the knees go just a bit wider than your ankles and do 10 of this slight external rotation. And then let your knees go over the heels, and then roll your spine down, even especially through the lower back. And then we'll take a happy baby with the hands holding on. I like to open up the toes here, so you can spread out the big toe from the second, and you can spread out the pinky toe from the fourth. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then let your left leg down and pour your right leg up. Now we're only going to take 5 circles each way per leg, so enjoy this huge range of motion. We're taking advantage of the mobility of the ball and socket joint. This pumps lymph around that inguinal crease, and the left psoas is getting a stretch. Now, 5 the other way, and I'm trying to take as big a circle as I can with the shoulders down and the ribs down. And then we'll come back to that leg later, but let that right leg down and take the other leg up, and we'll come back to some mobility later, but take 5 circles. Big. Make sure nothing hurts. It should be a pain-free range of motion. And then we're going to go the other way. You can pretend you're trying to Velcro your other leg down to the floor. Yep. Now we're going to take both legs in, thighs together, and I'm going to add a little rock here. So right, left, right, left. So I've got a little release, and then hands go between the knees and hold onto the feet. The knees are wider, so you almost look like a butterfly. Again, if you can reach the space between your big toe and second toe, spread that out. If you can put your finger between the pinky toe and the fourth toe, spread that out. Those are areas that tend to get tight, so our feet are meant to be, you can imagine, little chimpanzee feet. We want to have dexterous hands and feet, toes. All right, now both legs go together and they're glued. Now you're holding on to a ribbon between your legs, and you're going to circle, and then you're going to go back and you're going to circle the other way. So one way would be counterclockwise and one way is clockwise. Breathe in. Now your shoulder blades are down, your ribs are down. Good. And around, squeeze. All right, we have 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and then 1. All right, you're going to hug your legs and you're going to just rock a little bit. Now this next one is called a pelvic tilt. So your legs are up, your hands can be down. Notice I'm lifting up my hips. So the pelvis is coming off the mat if you can, and the hands are like a frame. And your attention would be that you're on your abdominals doing this pubic bone pulling up towards your belly button, or pubic bone towards your sternum. Abdominals. There you go, abdominals. 3 more, 2 more, and then 1 more. Now we're going to take a feet wide position like a V, and I'm going to move away from the wall. The amount of knee bend is up to you. If you need to modify, you bend the knee a little bit more, knees a little bit more. If you need it harder, you straighten the knees a bit more. So you want to feel these long inner thigh muscles that stretch past the knees. Add a few ankle rolls here if you have that ability. So circle the ankles, maybe 3 to 5 repetitions. We want flexible ankles because they absorb shock in the body. So you can think you're an animal. When an animal goes through the woods, it's soft and pliant, elastic. It's not landing harshly, right? So now relax the thighs into the belly. You're doing great. Grab those hands underneath the thighs and we're going to pop up. Grab a sip. Go in for 8 to 12 ounces of water. We're going to come back to that original all fours position. Now when you're in all fours, your right foot comes up and your left hand can reach for the foot or the ankle and then lift up. So this is that bow pose in all fours. If this is too hard, what you can do is an opposite arm, opposite leg reach. So for now, we'll do this. Good, 5, 4, there you go. 3, your knee usually goes up higher, Betty, you got it. Yeah, look at that. It's like I put water on a plant and it grew. All right, try the other side. Left foot, right hand, and lift. Speaking of which, I got some healthy garden stuff going. I'm so excited. Lift up your right hand to left foot. So go up, up, up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You see how when you're here, it opens, opens, opens? More. And then lower. Now, we're going to take the opposite arm, opposite leg reach, but dynamics. Let me turn. Your left arm and your right leg are going to reach and pretend you have food on your back and you can't drop it, or like dishes. Okay, you're going to pull your left elbow to your right knee, tuck and extend. Keep the left arm and the right leg in this and pull under. And then now if you want it harder, lift up your left toes and your left shin. 6 more. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and then lower. Okay, get your bearings again to where you feel like you're a table. Your right arm and your left leg come out without disturbing your table, and then you pull your elbow to knee. You'll flex, and then you'll go back to your table. Now, if you want this harder, lift up the right toes. No toes are touching the floor. Lift up the right shin. Breathe and stretch. There's a balance pose here going on. We're doing 10 total, or the best you can do. Breathing. And then stretch. Now I'm going to out for the toe pull under. Yes, toes pull under. Feel the feet stretch. 5, 4. Now for the toes, if you have a good stretch here, you can leave it, but if you want more for your toes, come up. And you see how my toes are still under? So that's a foot stretch. Your heels are straight up and down if you can, or kind of in the middle. Karen is a good one. Now if you want more, I'm going to turn so you can see me. This is a nickname, toe crush asana. You can come back, but you see how my toes are pulled under, and you can lift your hips. Good. 10, 2, 3, 4. So I'm trying to stretch out those feet. Can you imagine little chimpanzee feet, as if your feet are hands? I think it's in Thailand that's the same word for hands is the same word for feet. I think that is. Inhale, and on your exhale, in other words, your feet should be as dexterous. Now wiggle your toes, wiggle your feet, so they should feel a little bit freer now. Very in line with what we just did. Our belly goes down. Now we're going to take the right knee in flexion, and your right hand might find it. And if you're able to do left hand to left foot, do that and then come up. Otherwise, find a creative solution. It could just be that you bend the knee 1 foot at a time, and we're going to do this twice. Now let the breath help you wherever you are in your current pose. Breathe in your nose. And throughout class, you can Think about trying to give every single alveoli, every single lung cell, prana or attention or life force. Now recover for a moment and either take your other foot or do a second set, both. Here we go, come up. The neck doesn't have any tension, but the heart is opening, the shoulders are opening. Breathe in. And then exhale. Take your hands to push you back in child's pose, but we're gonna add on a clamshell. Now on this one, you're gonna walk your fingers over to one side. Pinky is far away from the hips. Breathe into that rib cage. You wanna feel how your breath travels. It travels differently in different poses. Now the opening up your arm, so act like you're a clam and you want to look at the sunshine instead of the sand. Breathe in. Exhale, lower. Now walk your fingers over to the other side. Pinky, your right pinky is far away from your right hip. Now breathe into those right rib cages, muscles, intercostals. Open up that right armpit. It's like you're a clam looking at the sky. And then close. And then walk it back. Awesome job, guys. Grab a sip and then meet me back here. Doing great. And I'm gonna put a little knee pad down. I'm gonna demonstrate. You're gonna be on your shins. And if this pose doesn't work for you, you can always do hamstring bridges. So I'm gonna start with my hands beside and I'm one long line. And then I'm gonna hinge and one long line and hinge, one long line and hinge, one long line. So what you want to feel is right there where your hands are, Jean, your quads lengthen while they contract. So it's called an eccentric contraction. And when people are weak in their quads on eccentric contractions, they trip forward, fall down stairs, fall down hills. So we are also protecting the knee joint and the structure of the knee by building this strength. But you self-regulate how low, how far back do you go. We'll be adding on some arms. So the next time you're back, right arm forward, right arm palm up, left arm palm up, right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder, hinge your way back to vertical. Hinge back, right arm forward, palm down, left arm forward, palm down, palm up, cross opposite, and come back. Good, again, hinge, right arm forward, right palm up, left palm up, shoulder, shoulder, hinge. We have 2 more sets. Go back, arm, arm, flip, flip, shoulder, shoulder, vertical. Last one, lean, arm, arm, flip, flip, shoulder, shoulder, come up. Nice job. That kind of patterning is really good for the brain, especially with exercise. So grab a sip if you'd like. We're going to come down. Better than a crossword puzzle because your brain doesn't get as much oxygen as the other organs, and so it needs something like exercise or the sauna or getting your heart rate up, getting your more blood to the brain, plus the memory at the same time or coordination. Very helpful for the brain. Now I've got my hand here on these double leg lifts because it's a little proprioceptive cue to tell my abs, I want your help as you come up. The abs should not be kind of hanging out towards the floor. They're lifted, they're pulling in. My legs are glued. Good. 11. Now can you go a half an inch higher than you initially did? Usually there's a little bit more gas in the tank with deliberate focus. You're doing great. Now while you're up, let's go ahead and add our abductors. So we want these bones strong. 8. And the hip could be one of the top areas to get fractured, but not in us because we work on the strength. We get lots of vitamins and minerals. And this is inner thigh. Now what we'll do is go to the other side. So your arm, or even a real pillow, can act like a pillow. That way your neck is not contracted. But what is your waist. So I've got my hand here, if that works for you. Go up. Good. Now add that little focus, that little extra focus that you're asking your body to go a half an inch or an inch higher than it would if you weren't giving it that attention. You're the director. Good. Exhale. Your mind is powerful. And we're asking it to help us get our legs up higher, and with our abs help. Now on this last one, once you're up, you can add on. We're building hip strength and bone density here. Abs. Good. The bottom leg's off the floor, so that's your inner thigh. Now we're going to try to keep that leg up, or we will keep it up, and then your bottom leg meets it. So we're working the hip, and then we're working the inner thigh. We want those muscles for balance. Both of these are critical for balance. Nice job. All right, let's come up for just a moment. Grab a sip if you'd like. That was a little bit for those hip muscles. And we're going to take a mermaid position. And you notice I get us on the floor a lot because that's critical to functional youth. So left foot on the thigh and then right foot back. Now mermaid is right hand to left knee, go up. But if that is just not happening for you, there's a couple tricks. You can put your hand here, or you can put a pillow underneath the hip that's feeling grabby. So if your TFL is tight, this muscle, and it won't let your hip down, you might for now need a pillow. Or a lot of times you can roll that TFL out with your foam roller, and then it'll let your hip relax. So just try something. There you go. Yeah. And again, you can always do these little things. So you notice you're sitting on the floor. We do different positions of sitting on the floor throughout class on purpose. Now the hand that's in the air, when you're ready, it's going to go up and behind you. Now we're adding a rotation. This is like you're a mermaid looking over her shoulder to the ocean. Now this is another one. You're going to go down towards your sternum, towards the floor behind you, and you can even stretch out the right leg. Stretch from right fingers to right toes. And then gently come up. Now we're flipping the mermaid. You did great. So you're going to flip the mermaid this way. Right foot on the left thigh. Left arm crosses to the knee and go up and over. Now, if that's too difficult, you can put your hand here. If it's because your hip is grabbing, you can foam roll that TFL out, that tensor fascia lata. It gets a little tweaky sometimes when it tries to act like a primary flexor and it's not intended to. It's a secondary accessory flexor. Or if you have a pillow, sometimes that helps to put it underneath the hip. But otherwise, enjoy. Breathe in. You're getting it all, Jean, and it's all going to be good. Just keep reaching for some limbs. Bring this hand down, and it's all good, right? You're gonna look over your shoulder, mermaid looking over her shoulder. And then lower your heart, and then you might stretch out your left leg a bit more and stretch out your left arm a bit more. Stretch, reach, open. Inhale. And then exhale to come back up. Woo, come back up, grab a sip. So that was called the Mermaid series. I hope you like it. It's one of my favorite little stretch series. We're going to touch base with some forearm planks. You can, of course, do this on your hands if you want. So I'll demonstrate on the forearms, and then you're going to put your feet back. At first, just hang in there for 10. We like to just firm all our cues up. Our forearm cues are that the scapula are broad on the back. They're not collapsed. Your head's pulling back, so your ears in line with the shoulder. Your abs aren't drooping. There's a little pull-up sensation, and your knees are strong and long. Your heels are straight up and down. And just hold for another 5. All right, now we're going to touch base with that side plank. So elbow down, open up. You're strong in the shoulder blade. In other words, your shoulder blade's down and back. You're strong in the shoulder, I should say. The shoulder blade's a bone, but your shoulder blade is down the back. Breathe in. I like to stretch out through that hand. Give those muscles that grip so much during the week that day a chance to stretch. Lower, and then go to the other side. Good poly. The good modification is a double side leg lift. Open up. Here we go. Stretch. Both hands are open, and that bottom hand, it's stretched out. You can do that on your mattress at night too. It's good for the nerves to stretch out that hand, and they're not always flexed. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you may choose to do a bridge instead of this next one. I'm going to do a Purvottanasana, reverse plank, or you might choose to do a reverse table, but you might also just do a bridge, something that's not with your shoulders if you're having an issue with that. 10. Big breath. Good. And then lower. Nice job. So we touched base with those. I'm going to have us do a little interlace. We're going to touch base with some push-ups. This is arm strength, ab strength. So one way to do this is to do standing on the wall push-ups. Another way to do this is do all 4 push-ups, which is like a square. Another way to do this is to do push-ups with your knees back, and another way is toes. So make it safe for your joints and try 15. Good. Good. And 8. Good. I like the way your head is staying back. Everybody's head looks good. 10. Good. 11. 12. That a girl, G. 13. Keep it up. 14. 15. Hot dog, guys. I'm going to do a cow face pose. I'm sitting in a kneeling, but you can find the way that serves you. So you notice I just mix up the way we sit on the floor, so the hips are normalized to it. High kneel is good. Breathe fully. In these poses, your rings are all lined up. So jawline is parallel to the clavicle, is parallel to the ribs, is parallel to the pelvis. You're not like over here or translated. So everything is in a line. Your rings are in a parallel to each other. Let's go the other side. And I'm trying not to twist my back to get my arms to touch. So just the arms. Good. Now that full breath. Look at how good everybody is. This is in the general population, this is a difficult pose, and look at how good this population's doing. This is great. Look at you. 5, 4, 3. This helps prevent rounded shoulders. 2, 1. Now I'm going to do a release, so it's knocking on the door of life. You can do this standing up anytime or here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I want to offer a tricep exercise, more triceps. So it could be that you do the back push-up, I'll show you a few things. I can't get my words out. So you may be doing this. Karen, maybe you'll grab a hand weight and put both hands on the hand weight behind your head. Maybe you'll do a standing push-up, Polly. So either, whatever you're doing, and I'm going to go here, 15. You're finding ways to work. The triceps are critical. We need those strong. Everything's so automated, it's easy to go without, but we add them. Now, you could add on, so if you're in a reverse table with me, you could lift that leg for 5, and then you could lift the other leg for 5. I like to show these body exercises and then recover, because it lets you know no matter where you are, you can throw in those exercises. Grab a little interlace. Good, Michelle, like that you're using your chair. And then I'm going to show prayer pose. So here's one. This is a prayer pose here. And if you work with your hands a lot, this is just a great stretch to throw in your day. Now I'm going to show you the reverse one. Push the palms together and open the elbows. So if this just isn't working, you could do prayer in front. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let it go, and then we're gonna get a sip, and we're gonna go back to a little bit of a springy exercise called treadmill. I'll show it to you. So come down to your forearms when you're ready, and then lift your hips a little higher than you would for a typical bridge. Pull your right knee under, and then put it back. Pull your left knee under, and then put it back. Pull your right knee under, put it back. Pull your left knee under, put it back. Right knee, left knee. Right knee, left knee. Now, for an add-on, you can switch places, and you're in the air, you're airborne for a moment. Land like an animal running in the woods, elastic, and then go faster if you'd like for 20. Treadmill, 10, and recover. Woo! How'd that feel? We'll do a counter pose called Ustrasana. It can be like this, or if you want to do it where you're high kneeling and you put your hands behind your hips, you can do that. So 5, good. 4, 3, 2, inhale, and exhale. Nice job. Now we're going to a side plank. So that was a front plank move. Now we're going to a side plank, and we're going to add some hip raises. So you might do legless poly. So come up. Now lift your hip 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Try the other side. Terrific. Lift your hip 10 times. Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. That worked great. And then come on down to the floor. We're going to do a floor drill. I want you to pretend I'm right here. I'm right next to you. Our legs are up facing each other. We're thigh to thigh. Now I'm going to lower my legs down to the right, heels to the floor, while you do it to the left, right? And then either way, you're going left, and then you're going vertical. And then you're going a little right, like I'm beside you, and you have to pass by my legs. So you can't go down center. You have to go the width of the partner legs. Keep your ribs down. You go all the way up so you don't hit the legs of the other partner. And down. All right. We're going to do 4 more together. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hug. So just take a little breather, a little stretch. And let me demo the left foot down and the right leg up. We're going to pull the toes back on this top leg unless that hurts your nerves. Lift up 5 times with 1 leg bridge. A modification would be 2-footed bridge. Now we're going to take the right foot down and take 5 on this one. I'm also trying to spread out my toes. I would like to see the ceiling between the toes. The space is open between the toes. All right, that is called single bridge. That's your backup move. If you would like, left foot down, right leg out, and you're going to come up 5 times. And if this isn't, like let's say you have osteoporosis, you're going to do the bridge and you're going to lift your hip versus lifting your torso into flexion. Now we're going to do 5 each one. Nice job. And then recover when you're ready, when you're done with all of that. Very good. Now this next is, so we just did a hip flexor and hamstring. This next is also the hamstring, but it's long knee. So I'm going to have us turn on our belly, and you're going to put your arms underneath your head like a pillow. And lengthen your left leg up all by itself, and then lengthen your right leg up all by itself. Lengthen, this is stuff, these are type of movements you don't see in your everyday life, this kind of long hip extension. We walk, that's a little hip extension, right? But notice we're trying to really complement the body by strengthening muscles that sometimes get an amnesia in them. There's a gluteal amnesia that happens with a lot of sitting. Sitting is the new smoking as far as health risk and disease risk. So we want to wake up the glutes and alternate 4 more times before we add on. This is a great exercise for glute hamstrings. Now if you can add on, lift up both legs and flutter kick them like you're swimming laps. 10, knees off the floor. 5, yes. 3, recover for a moment. You can even windshield wipe. We're going to do horizontal adduction next. So it's inner thighs, hamstring, glutes. So lift up both legs and then tap the feet in the air while the legs are still in the air. They're not dropping between repetitions. 10 more. And then this time just windshield wipe. And I'm going to do something for the rear deltoids, which are important muscles to prevent rounded upper back, rounded shoulders. So get your legs long again, and then put your hands like a letter I. These are called I, T's, and Y's. Put your arms like a letter I, like you're a rocket ship. Now lift up your torso a little bit. Lift up your arms a little bit. Palms face the floor if you can. Now go higher in the arms only. And Polly, that should feel like a pretty safe exercise. Good. All right, 5 more. Now we're going to go out like a letter T, so the arms are about as high as a T. Now lift up the arms higher than your body, but the body's up off the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to take the arms like a letter Y, and we're going to do 10 of these. Your body's up, but your arms are going to lift higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Recover for a minute. We're going to do a second set of 10 of all of those. So if you need a child's pose before we do it, take it, or a puppy. Here we go. Hands below your hips, palms face down. Lift up your torso. Now we're going to lift the arms up. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now out to the rear like a T. T lift. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now out like a Y. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, child pose. Woo! I hope you felt that. Back. Inhale. And then you can come any way you want to, and I'll give us a little, try this, stretch under and palms. So you're gonna do an eagle. This is a yoga pose, but it's just gonna be a little stretch. Good, and lift your elbow higher, as high as your shoulders. Breathe in, and then let go. Now I'm gonna switch which arm's on the top, which one's on the bottom. So my left arm's on the bottom. I'm trying to wrap my palms, and the elbows are shoulder height. I'm getting them center of my body. Breathe into your scapula. The rhomboids are the muscles between. Breathe in. And then exhale. And then let's take a few just humongous circles. So we work the shoulders good. Make it a full range of motion. These are ball and socket joints too. Breathe in. I'm crossing one arm and then I'm crossing the other. Can't go wrong with these anytime during your day. And then we'll do a bit of an easier shoulder stretch, but it's good anytime, which is fingers behind. I'm gonna press the palms together to make it harder. Lift the arms. Notice it's tempting to push the head forward, but don't do it. But you're gonna keep it back. Just know that it's tempting. So 5, 4, good. Breath 3, looking good. Look at all these beautiful postures. 2, and then 1. And then just release and shake it out. Grab a sip. Good job, guys. Go a little bit. I'm gonna do one of my favorites. We're gonna go to side plank. If you need to, do a leg lift instead. When you're in side plank, go up. You could lift your foot behind you and open up your heart, so Maldrasana, or if you want to make it a hand one, go up 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now lower your hip, never just collapse at the arm. And again, I'll go through the series. It could be a side plank forearm, it could be a foot back forearm, or it could be a hand, side, and open. 10, 9, 8, lift, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, breathe in, and then exhale. Nice. Now one little balance pose. Well, we've done the opposite arm, opposite leg. This is in a different place. So you lift. Notice that my hands are not helping. If you want it a little harder, extend your knees. Here we go. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now lower for a moment. You could take your 2 peace fingers around your big toe. You could hover the feet. You could, good, Betty, you know where I'm going. And then stretch. I like a little glide down. Good, Jean. 10. Your hamstrings and hips inner thighs will let you know where to take your legs. Optional, I'm going to do a little knee bend to show you that. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome job, awesome job. Grab a sip because we're going to be doing some stretching and we won't be getting up again. And if you're like me, you want a band, grab a band, or if you're also wanting a little prop, grab a prop. So that you have it and you don't have to get back up. I'm going to grab my yoga block this time, but you can certainly use anything you want. But when you're ready, go down and take an ankle to thigh, hip opener, and move it a little right and left if you'd like. And then I'm going to take it to the other side, ankle to thigh, and reach your hand through. Now we're going to be taking a hamstring hip flexor stretch. You can do this by sending a leg up. You could do this by putting your hips over a block and then putting your other leg up. And the hamstring belly should feel the stretch. You shouldn't feel like it's nerve pain or it's just your sit bone or just your knee. The exhale, release this tension. You can also move it across the midline. And you can take it across. Now what we'll do is switch it so you have this other foot, this other leg, and let your breath come in through your nose. The bottom of your torso gets the full breath. It's more of an allowing than a forcing. And then your ribs, and then your apex of your lungs. You cross your midline. And then out, if you'd like, to the side. So you're just finding what do you need. And notice how it changes the hip flexor stretch where you have your leg. I love that part. Now when you're ready, you can come out of there, and we have to do a rotation. Rotations are one of my favorites. So your knee over and your other arm out, and you want to feel the thoracic spine or the upper back rotating. You can probably feel the hip and the low back. The waist is long, so your hip's far away from your rib. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So you've got this knee long, and then your other knee down and your other arm out. And then come back to center, guys, and let your feet be a little wider than your hips and drop your inner knee down, and then you can pick up your left ankle, arms up. Full breath. Yeah, the T, like a T or a Y. That way your chest and shoulders get an opposite of how they are in daily life position. Take a full breath. And then touch base with the other side. Your feet come down wider than a bridge pose or wider than your hips, and then your inner left knee drops. Your right ankle can rest on that knee. And then just take a moment to either take a full body stretch or to put your feet up on the wall. I'm just going to take a Shavasana for a moment, or a leg up on the wall, you choose. We'll take 3 full breaths here wherever you are. A long inhale. And a long exhale. And just imagine you're enveloped in a cloud, very safe place. Nothing to do, nothing to be, nothing to explain or justify. And then keep that sense of peace with you as you come up to a seated position. We'll lift up through the spine.